Welcome to this video on certifications in TOTORLearn. Certifications are similar to programs, and this video assumes that you're already familiar with how to create a program. The difference is that while programs are normally a one-time event, unless they include a recurring course, certifications have an expiry date and ask learners to return to recertify after a set period of time. In this video, we'll look at the aspects of doing this that are specific to certifications, but won't repeat the areas covered in the Creating a Program video. Like programs, certifications are accessed via the Site Administration menu. For this example, let's imagine that I work for a financial services organisation, where there is regulatory training that my staff must repeat every year. I'll add a new certification and quickly fill in the details such as the name of the certification on this tab. I'll continue by adding my learning content. You'll notice that this is where certifications and programs start to look different. We have an original certification path and a recertification path. The original path is the one that the learner takes the first time around and looks and feels just like a program. Let's assume I've added the courses I need to my original certification path. Now it's time to look at my recertification path. This is the path that my learners will take in the subsequent attempts at the certificate, commonly once a year with regulatory compliance training. Here you have the option to simply repeat the original path, or to specify a different path. This could be a cut-down version of the original pathway or different courses entirely. For example, I might want my recertification path to focus on testing the learner's ability to put their knowledge into practice, supported by some brief recaps of the fundamentals they should already know from the original pathway. Adding content to the recertification path is done in the same way as programs, using sets to add courses or competencies. For ease, I'll say that my recertification path is the same as my original path. I'll save changes and confirm that these are the changes I want to make. So that's my content complete. The assignments, messages and completion tabs work just the same as they do in programs. But what is new is this certification tab. This is where you decide how your certification behaves. You've got three options when it comes to setting the recertification date, which is when your certification will expire. A fixed expiry date means that all your learners, regardless of when they complete the original certification path, will be required to recertify at the same time. This might be appropriate if regulations change yearly at a certain time, and your recertification path always includes the latest content. You could also use the certification completion date. This might be fairest as it gives all learners the same amount of time, as it recalculates the period each time they take the certification. You need to be a little careful with this though, as dates can drift. If the learner takes their certification a little early, their recertification date for the next time is brought forward. Over a few years, you might start to notice this drift. A more solid date to use is the certification expiry date. This is calculated the first time and then reused for each recertification. So, if you set yours to recertify every year, it would be due for recertification on the same date each year, even if the learner took it slightly earlier or later in different years, as long as they always recertified in time. You also need to define how long the certification is valid for. Note that learners must recertify by this time or their certification will expire and they will have to restart with the original path. To allow learners to recertify before the expiry date, you'll set a recertification window. This is determined in relation to the expiration date. For example, I might reopen my certification 6 weeks before the due date to allow plenty of time for learners to complete their learning, allowing for holidays and other time off. When this window starts, learners receive a notification that they have been enrolled in the recertification and there are courses to complete. I'll save my changes and confirm I'm happy with them. So what happens to courses when it's time to recertify? If a course appears in a recertification pathway, the system takes a copy of the course's history and resets the course so it looks to the learner as though they have not completed it before. This includes clearing quiz scores. There's one thing to be careful of here, and that's including courses in a recertification path that also exists in other programs. If a course is part of a program completion and the course is reset during the recertification window, the program they had previously completed will be marked as incomplete until they retake the course. So how does this look to a learner? If I've been assigned to a certification, or a recertification period has become active, I'll see a notification on my dashboard. I'll probably have received an email message too. Learners can also browse and search for certifications through Find Learning.